Hey, Chrissy, really enjoying this interview. Love hearing about what happens behind the scenes and about the nuts and bolts of how things are done. I want to hear more about Elon and what did he smell like? What did he feel like? What's the vibe?
Yeah, the vibe is he's very gentle, nice person. Shook my hand. We talked for a while, like I said, about Pennsylvania. He dressed very well, cleans up nice. Trump does too. I'm not in the business of complimenting men's looks, but Trump and Elon both. I was surprised at how well they showed up to one of the Mar-A-Lago events in a tux and just they were dressed to the nines. Elon's very much to a good listener. Sometimes you meet people, and I mean, you're in crazy environments, et cetera, and I don't know if he means to do it or if he doesn't intentionally, but like he really processes what you're saying, when you're talking to him, and I was actually complimenting his team on the data and this and that. And he kind of takes a second. He's like, that's great. I appreciate you telling me that, we really care about data. And just, here's this guy who probably spent like $100 million just in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
And he's like thanking me. Right. I'm like,
holy cow.
I appreciate that. But he's like, I really appreciate what you did. Thank you for your work in Pennsylvania, Cliff.
Wow.
And I'm like, that it was a wild moment, right? This is the richest guy in the world. His number one priority was Trump winning the White House. He spent most of his physical time in Pennsylvania, right? It was just this weird stars aligning moment. And we're the people with the team of 120 full timers, crisscrossing the state. So he's just a good guy. I don't have any, I could tell some horror stories about, being in the green room at Fox News and how some of these people are great and some are scumbags. Elon doesn't fall into that category. He's a great guy, very nice, very humble, which is just wild for what he's worth and kind of, what he could be doing with his life versus literally saving us the White House.
Wow. I wonder for him if it was losing his son, to the trans woke mob.
Yeah, I think that's a major driver that doesn't get enough attention. And I think some of those interviews are just, they're gut wrenching, when you see him talk about it. And so I think everybody has their reason, for making the jump. Bobby Kennedy, obviously based on health, Tulsi Gabbard based on war. But talk about independent thinkers coming together against the uniparty. That's how I look at this. I'm a libertarian, right? I come from Ron Paul world. You want to legalize drugs, sure, but make sure you got a closed border. This was the first time, Charlie Kirk on his show asked me, he says, Cliff, how does a libertarian like you, become the guy that's helping the America First movement win the White House? I said, Charlie, everybody's a libertarian until they start chopping off the private parts of our kids, right? When you get to this wild radical stuff and this woke BS, and they tell white dudes that you are inferior just because of how you were born, that'll change you. That'll change you a lot. And I think that you see everybody having kind of their moments of why, but that's how all these people came together. Dr. Phil, I'm with Javier Milei at Mar-A-Lago, and just wild moments of this coalition that I think it's going to go in the record books as one of the craziest coalition. And I think this will be a turning point or a transformation in the shift of kind of identity politics in America.
Who else did you meet at Mar-A-Lago?
So Tulsi was there, spent some time with Milei. Tucker was there. Trump was there. I mentioned, Lee Zeldin. Lee Zeldin's a great guy.
I think he's from Westchester. Yeah.
I'm not sure where in New York, but yeah, he really is a good dude. He helped tremendously. He was part of the America First Works, the C4 of America First Policy Institute. He was one of the people that led a lot of that coalition. So they helped fund us. They helped kind of, make sure that we were where we needed to be. And so we did weekly calls with them to kind of stay looped in. And that was for months. So there was just all these kind of things behind the scene. Larry Kudlow was there. Linda McMahon. Linda's fantastic. Now going to be the Secretary of Education. I think we're going to shut that down. So she might be out of a job soon. We'll see. It was like, I could sit here for another 20 minutes. There were so many people there. Donald Trump Jr., Kimberly Guilfoyle, Laura Trump. You know, it was like 600 of us in the room.
Wow.
And it was just, celebrating the win, which was awesome.
When did you go? When did they have you there?
This was last week. The election could have been 3 months ago, and I believe you. So I believe I was there last like Tuesday through Thursday.
Were you allowed to bring a +1?
It depends on the events. And so this is what's funny about Mar-A-Lago. People think it's like, you're in or you're not, or it's like, a hotel. And it's like, well, they're not really even Trump campaign events, right? A lot of these are just organizations. It's kind of like the inaugural ball, right? At the inaugural, there is like official state or nation of, the U.S. events. But like, I've got a couple of them I'm going to where it's just random, organizations are hosting it. They want you to attend, say thank you, et cetera. But Mar-A-Lago is interesting because like there's different, it's almost like going to a convention center, right? There's different things going on in different areas depending on who's rented the property. You obviously have the people that live there, Trump being one of them. But with security now, it's very different than it was. I was there quite a few times over the last, let's say 5 to 6 years. The security is very different.
Good. They should do a rectal scan on everybody. It's got to be top level.
My Uber driver he was losing his mind. He's like, I have to get out of the car. They're like, yes, get out of the vehicle.
Wow. Really? They made the Uber driver get out of the vehicle to do a pat down?
Well, they literally checked the whole engine of the car.
Wow. In case, that's so insane. In case
they checked the engine of the car. They popped the trunk. They obviously use the mirrors underneath. But like, that pre-Butler rally, no, like that was not like that. It just wasn't. They might say it was, but it's been very different and much more, let's say, targeted.
Good. They should. It's scary, but wow, it sounds like they're really on point. So you get there. Do they immediately give you a glass of champagne? Are there a lot of past hors d'oeuvres?
Well, I'll just talk about it as if most of the events are the same. So I'll just give you a rundown. You walk in, they have this huge red carpet, which I think is hilarious, right? Like you get there and it's literally like it's just somebody had a backyard with a pool and then like a very nice house. Like that's kind of what it is. So you walk in, the red carpet, they get you registered with your name, give you a name badge. You probably have it hanging somewhere. And then you got all these cocktail waiters walking around with champagne and, hors d'oeuvres and all these finger foods. And there's open bars, throughout the property. But there's a pool right there. And a good friend of mine, one of the times I was there, he's in a tux and fell in the pool. And I cannot see him without reminding him about it. There's
they have
no
Trump
way.
bathing suits that you could put on in case you want to go in.
There's just let me make sure everybody's like, imagine falling in a pool in a full gown or a full tux and fully submerging. There's no way. Like, what do you do?
Not just like knee deep or waist deep. Your whole head is wet.
Yeah. Like, and he just slipped in. He slipped in, and like I just need to say, like, there's no way to play that off. Like you're just screwed.
Oh, shit. Right, you're not like bringing a change of underwear with you. Like, where do you go from there? What do you do?
That's what I mean. There's not even like a bath. Like there is no plan. So anyway, they usually have like a cocktail hour at all these events outside, and then usually the organization president or whoever is running it will give a speech. Like JD Vance was there for one of the events I did. And so he kind of led with the big speech, Larry Kudlow, Brooke Rollins from AFPI. And then they bring you into the main ballroom area. So like you walk, like I said, it's almost like you walk through the hallway of a house and you go outside. It's a different building. And you walk in and it's, a ballroom that holds probably 1,000 people or maybe 500, somewhere in that range, depending on how they set it up. And they've got a dance floor in the middle with a stage. And they've got like kind of the table for Trump and the table for Elon, the long table for them that Secret Service is kind of guarding. And then you have bars at the back and, every event's pretty much the same thing. They're going to get up. Maybe they say a few words. They bring up Trump. They bring up somebody else. But it's a great networking opportunity. My job there is just to say thank you to the donors. And to brag on the organizations that made it all happen. right? And just to, give credit where it's due and to thank everybody and make sure that, we've got a plan for this permanent infrastructure moving forward.
What were you worried about? I would be worried about drinking too much because I get very excited about an open bar and if there's multiple of them. But then you're probably like, I have to be on my best behavior. Like all the most important people are here. You don't want to get drunk in front of Elon.
Right. No, that's it's funny you say that because I have a rule with my team. I'm always like, listen, when the fat lady sings, if you want to have a lot of fun, that's fine. But you got to get through at least the end of the main ballroom, and then usually what they do after that is they'll have like a cigar, like kind of like somebody comes in that's got handmade cigars. I see that at pretty much every Mar-A-Lago event, and then everybody's kind of outside. I don't know. It's 90 degrees. You're smoking a cigar in a full tux, sweating down your back.
Yeah, the sweat strip down, and you get to the point, like my husband talks about, like you get to the point where you're wearing a jacket, like you can't take the jacket off because you sweat so much. Now it's like your shirt is compromised. Yep,
not an option. There is no option to remove that jacket. Like I would be sued for public nudity. Like if I took that jacket off. But yeah, no, and listen, some people, it's funny. Like there's a guy, Luke Blindert. I met him at a Mar-A-Lago event once, and he can drink pretty hard, but he's like, even here, he's like, you got to pace yourself at Trump's place. I'm like, all right, dude. But no, it's funny because some people won't touch it, and other people, it's like, yeah, they're partying all day, and all night. But they're great events, and like I said, it's kind of like the inaugural ball where there's different people, different dignitaries that come in, and it's just saying thanks to everybody.
Were there goodie bags?
Yeah, actually, it's funny you say that. The goodie bags, one of the things you got was Trump's book by Winning Team Publishing. I forget which one it is. I don't think it's Our President and His Prayers, but you get a book. And then there were a couple other things for America First Policy Institute. They had a bag that had different things, like a report in it, et cetera. But yeah, if you want to take the good stuff, you just take a napkin from the bathroom. I mean, it's very much like the White House. And then everything is very, very much Mar-A-Lago branded and like top quality. Like literally the napkins in the bathroom are like probably nicer than the towels I have. And those are like disposable at Mar-A-Lago. Right?
Oh, wow.
Like they're just, it's very world-class.
That sounds so fun. One more super chat from Russell Hall. What was your impression of Milei? Because he comes off as one of the most confusing, occasionally confounding world leaders on the planet.
So I love Javier Milei. I think he is. It would have to get so bad here. Trump's about as close as we'll probably ever come to a Milei, unless the situation gets much worse. I mean, that's what had to happen in Argentina. It had to be so bad that the people were like, all right, let's shut this shit down. Like, let's bring somebody in that's just going to totally just gut the system to fix it. He was awesome. So I had, I should have sent you the photo to show it on the screen. So I have a friend of mine, Austin Peterson.
I know Austin. Is it on your Twitter?
Yeah, I can find it.
Let me look for it.
But anyway, there's a photo of Austin. So Austin has great merch, and one of the shoes he has are Javier Milei on the side, and it just says Afuera. And so I literally showed him the photo of my shoes that I have, and he was just, he was kind of laughing and going wild because it's his face on the side of these shoes. Chrissy, I'll send it to you. But yeah, that's, so Milei was great. I think he's just somebody that like, I don't know how to tell people that like, he doesn't speak good English. I think people misunderstand that. Like he is really bad about his English. But he like comes from Ron Paul world. Like he is like a very much a Mises type guy. Meaning like he's very ideologically there. That video right there was taken, that was taken by Elon's mom, right?
His mom was there? Oh.
Yeah. It actually kind of was like funny because when you're there, like I don't have my staff with me. So typically like, you have people that are taking photos or things and like, I'm like, damn, like nobody got a video. Like even with Trump, like I don't like to ask him for a photo. So like, he was coming through. We talked a little bit. I shook his hand and I'm like, damn, I don't have like any staff here to capture some of these moments.
Wow.
And little did I know that, May Musk was the one capturing some of the best moments.
Thanks, May. Shout out to May Musk. Wowie. Oh my God. Beautiful.
Yeah, she's a good
Wow.
sweetheart, too. Got to meet her.
Oh. How tall is Elon?
Well, I think he's probably I'm 6'5".
Damn.
I would say he's probably 6'5". He might be a little taller than me. Yeah. I mean, I'm slouching a little bit in that video, but he might be. He's probably about the same height, about 6'5", 6'6".
Damn. It helps to be tall.
Yeah. I sent you that Milei on Twitter,
let me
picture.
find it.
But he is like, that question was great. He is like a wild man, right? Hello.
He does. He looks like a lot of fun, but unpredictable.
Right. And I like showed him the shoes, and he probably said afuera more times than
What's afuera?
So I don't know what it is in Spanish, but there's this video of him where he takes all the departments and he says afuera, afuera. I think it's like gone,
Like
or
garbage,
or like, bye-bye. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, like I saw him and he said afuera probably as many times as like when Trump was commenting on Kamala Harris's thank yous when she started her debate. At the DNC when she was nominated. I don't know if you saw that. She just kept saying thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Trump's like, that's too many thank yous.
Yeah.
That was him. He's like, afuera, afuera. He kept shaking my hand, but he was just like,
oh, it means get out. Thank you, Spike.
Yeah. I just wish, I wish his English was better because I think he is just I mean, it's not a problem. I just mean for my sake, selfish, because I do think he's one of the great communicators. And like just a pit bull with the media. I think him and JD Vance are two of the best, like up and coming, really understanding how to work within media or work to figure things out.
Yeah, it's very exciting.
And just to go after some of these left wing nuts that are calling themselves journalists. I think they're great.
Yeah, no, he seems like a real character. And yeah, JD Vance, I wasn't sure at first, but then the more I see of him and hear from him, the more I like him. And it's very exciting. Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Come and get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.